Hi, in this video I want to have a brief look at the various talent trees in King of Avalon. I think there are, if you're early on playing the game, the war tree and economy tree are the most interesting. I feel later on the balance tree becomes more interesting. But let's go through them first, just in order that they are listed in the game. So the war tree, there are some boosts, but some attack, defense, health boosts, but they are relatively small or very small compared to anything else you can get in in other ways in the game. So don't do it for those. What is nice from this, besides things like a talent like an emergency recall, is definitely nice, but the march capacity increase, although not huge, it is quite nice. Those are still relevant because there are not that many ways to increase your march capacity. The colossal march, definitely a very useful talent. For the rest, a lot is just attack, defense, health boost. There's another march capacity. The wounded conversion is always nice to increase, so that's very useful as well. And another march capacity, and of course the life preserver talent. So definitely if you go to war, you would really like to use this tree, not necessarily because of the attack, defense and health boosts, but for those talents and the march capacity increase. Now let's look at the economy tree early on. It is very important to build and research as fast as possible. For a long time that stays important, but at the stage where I'm at now, it's not so important anymore, but I will get more into that later. So we have construction and research projects, very nice. Instant yield, not so impressive. It allows you to get some resources, 4 hours of resource production, but resource production is not so important. The gathering projects definitely help with gathering resources faster. There's quite some construction and research throughout the tree. What is a very important one is the development talent. So for 5 minutes long you will, for construction and research tasks, sometimes people forget that, but it's also for research, you will have a 20% reduction. It's a 24-hour cooldown, but definitely something nice to use for the larger building upgrades and research projects. And for the rest, not so much, a lot of repetitive things. Instant gather, definitely nice. Not using it at the moment because I'm not using that tree, but it can definitely be nice to get some extra resources, and we have more construction and research. So I would say not a huge variety in what is offered, but there are some useful things. Last tree is the balance tree. I would say the most interesting things there that I like is the monster stamina. So you reduce stamina consumption when attacking monsters. That is a talent, very interesting for monster events. The training speed, healing speed, definitely nice. Hospital capacity, in principle it's nice, but the amount is very low. Stamina recovery, there are 2 projects of these, and this increases your stamina recovery. That is, in my eyes, very important. I will get a bit more into that later, but that is a major reason why I'm actually by default have this tree active. The population surge, that is a very important one as well. So each day during my troop training, I do once a day troop training, it reduces the amount of resources needed by 25%. And this also works for healing troops. Sometimes people don't realize that or forget about that, but this is not just for training, also for healing troops. So at this moment when this Dominion update just started and we are taking castles and having heavy losses, it's definitely good to start a large batch of healing as well at the moment when you have this talent active. For the rest, again, healing speed, hospital capacity, training capacity can also be nice, training speed, nice. So there is a bit of a bigger variety here that are nice in my eyes. The instant heal I also like a lot if I take heavy losses during Kingdom versus Kingdom and there is no direct reason to build up my power again very soon. There is no event upcoming. I just take my time by each day, each 24 hours, one time doing this instant heal talent, and then you get 10% of your wounded are healed for free. It doesn't cost you any resources, doesn't cost you any time. So if you, ideally, if there's nothing going on, I mean currently I'm a bit low on troops, but when I had a lot of troops, I would just, after Kingdom versus Kingdom, and normally I would have some wounded then, and I would just every day do this 10%, and at the last days there is a little bit of troops left that need to be healed after I've done this maybe 12 times or something like that. Maybe not being able to do it every day because you don't log on every day at the right moment. But then after that, the rest I just heal in one go and use some healing speed ups that we get. So that's a very useful talent. Stamina recovery too, very useful. I find it because being able to hit more, doing more barbarian rallies, hitting more monsters will give you more rewards each day. So if you use this tree and get this extra 20%, that is definitely useful because there are not that many ways to increase the stamina recovery. So if I look at these things, like early on when you start playing, construction and research speed, very important. So I would definitely focus on economy and switch to war when you are in war. Maybe you're not in war that often in the beginning because it's not so, maybe not so relevant at that time when you're still small, but economy, major focus, and war. So you switch between an economy tree and a war tree. At a certain moment, you get to a stage, where I'm at now, where you have your headquarters already to a very high level. Most buildings you have to a high level. Actually now it is quite rare that I'm having 2 building queues active. Normally I don't even have that anymore. So at this moment construction speed not so important for me. I don't have any research project going on at all. So research speed not so important for me. So that's why at this moment I make the choice to have my default setup be purely balanced focus because of all the benefits that I just gave, and have the remainder that I don't need, because the last project in balance, something like wall defense, don't need it. Have the remainder in economy because I still do appreciate the construction and research. I did go to VIP 12 so I can switch my talents. That is very important. I invested at that time, let's check if that's still available, but at that time in the Magic Spire I repeatedly bought VIP points. Me and someone else in the Alliance were doing that when it started to become available. We were doing that all the time, and that we invested quite some of the credits in there, which we could have done in things that gave us direct benefits, increased our stats. But this, I have never regretted this, because switching between 2 trees with one click is really very nice. So I have one which I have when I'm in war. I have the war tree complete and a little bit in balance, because at that time I definitely don't need economy, and the other one is balance as far as I need it, everything useful from my perspective in balance, and the remaining points in the economy. So that's that's the way I have set it up. So let's have a look. if those, because, yeah, okay, these are still available. I haven't looked at them for a very long time because I already have them. But I find it definitely, yeah, maybe you're going to think, but there are other nice things. I would say there are, if you're starting your account, you haven't done that much. I find it nicer in the Spire loot to focus on the Dragon XP to get your Dragon to level 68, I think it is, 2 levels below the max, so that you can max out all your Dragon skills, and to get your VIP to 12. Both are very, very nice. And the other things that you can get here, nice as well, but maybe there are other ways to get them. I would say focus on those first. You're really going to benefit from that a lot down the line. Now, while we talk about talent trees, I want to mention one other thing, but I have to admit that I'm a bit at a loss where the right building is. This is the embassy. I wanted to look at the... I haven't looked at that building for so long. I wanted to look at the talent tree for the Dragon Spirit. Here it is. Haven't looked at that for some time as well. Because here you have your Dragon Spirit, you also have talent trees. I'm not going to get into the details of that. Not so interesting in my eyes. I'm not actively playing this this Dragon Spirit anymore. Not really interested. But there is. I have chosen to assign my points to the mage. It does get some infantry defense, infantry health. But the real reason why I do it is this small amount of extra troop damage. Damage boosts are so important that I really wanted to grab that extra damage boost here. For the rest you get some health and defense, which is nice as well, but the real thing is the damage boost. And here is another 2.5% for troop damage too. So that's only alongside your dragon, but normally you should fight with your dragon, so that's okay. So doing that, for the rest, you just have to see. I mean, if you're actively playing the Dragon Spirit, maybe you're a knight and maybe you have all your talents there, that's fine. If, like me, at a certain moment you just stop because it doesn't bring you much anymore anyway, then do consider to switch it to mage so that you have that little bit of extra troop damage. Okay, that was it for the talent trees. If you have any comments or any questions or any suggestions, that's always much appreciated. Please share, and thanks for watching this video.